For me, if we can have the athlete's perspective, academics and NARDOs together, listening, supporting to each other, this is what we need to do to make sure that we are protecting sport. We have an opportunity to improve the quality of our thinking on this subject. And if we can improve the quality of our thinking, we will then improve the quality of our decisions. And if you change the quality of your decisions, you change the quality of your actions.
I think there's a breadth of things that we can do. Providing a greater avenue for the athlete voice to be heard is hugely important.
Ich glaube, um noch mehr Sportler als saubere Sportler zu bekommen, ist es wichtig, dass noch striktere Strafen sind, gerade für auch Erstvergehen, dass niemand wiederkommen darf, dass lebenslange Sperren sind und dass es einfach saubere Athleten als Role Models gibt, die wirklich für sauberen Sport stehen und auch zeigen, dass man vielleicht nicht mit Medaillenleistungen, aber insgesamt mit seinen eigenen Leistungen komplett im Reinen sein kann und so den Leistungssport einfach auf eine große Bühne heben kann.
Ik denk dat de bewustwording van hoe het nou precies volgens de regels moet, ik denk dat dat veel zal helpen om ervoor te zorgen dat de sport schoon is en dat alles volgens de regels gaat.
The parents, the coaches, those are all people that have to be on the same page. So I think this is the most important, to not only focus on the athlete, but also to focus on everyone that is working around the athlete.
A measure that could be, in my opinion, really effective is to have people from outside countries go to other countries to check the athletes, because of course there has been a lot of problems with, corrupt countries or agencies. So in order to tackle that, we need to be more internationally organized, I feel.
One thing that I think that could be done to minimise doping around the world would be to have a test that could much more cheaply and with a much longer time span detect a broader range of substances. The testing at the moment isn't terribly effective and the clearance rate for most drugs is quite fast. So I think if we could extend the detection window and do it more cheaply, then that would make a big difference.
Najpomembnejša stvar za moje pojme, da bi lahko povprečili doping, je ta, da bi posameznike seznanili z vsem, kar prinese doping, z posledicami pri zdravju. Zato, ker zame najpomembneje je ostati zdrav, šele kasneje so interesi medalj, zmag. In če ljudje vejo, kako si škodijo z dopingom, bi si verjetno tudi premislili.
I think what would really help, that would be an external anti-doping body as such from outside the different countries would be allowed to go into those specific countries and test the athletes in those countries. So the internal federations are not solely responsible for testing the athletes within their country, and the external testers can go in and test them at any hour, any day of the week.
I think the values that we acquire as children are the most important when it comes to deciding within a period of your athletic career whether or not you want to take any performance-enhancing drugs. So what's very important is that we start educating young athletes or raising their awareness so that they start thinking about their thoughts, they start thinking about how they're perceiving situations. An individual has that level of awareness, you're really able to step back and think clearly and make the right decisions.
I suppose there is the grey zone, and one of the things that I think anti-doping agencies need to do is the first thing to take is to get the low-hanging fruit, get the nandrolones out of the system, get the EPOs out of the system, and then try and narrow that grey zone as much as possible. If you get the grey zone quite narrow, then you've 95% of the job done.
There's much work to do, but there's much development already happened and a great deal of advancements. So thank you very much for taking the time to come here today, and I look forward to further conversation and, more importantly, action going into the future.